Good morning, everyone. Here's your Mormon News Update for August 26, 2024. First off, an article today about the secret lives of Mormon wives and how much the participants make. It says, the secret lives of Mormon wives have not so secret lives on social media where they claim to earn impressive salaries as influencers. It's hard because each year is different. You could get a really big brand deal like, hey, we want to have like a 6-month contract with you, and then the next year you don't get it at all, Whitney Levitt told E! News in an interview published on Sunday, August 25th. It varies drastically. Whitney, 31, said that she once received $20,000 to promote a sex toy brand on her social media, and that it's just one of the lucrative brand deals she struck. We both have gotten one. We can't say what it was, but we've gotten a deal that was $75,000 for 1 year, Mormon Wives co-star Macy Neely added to E! On Sunday. Each industry varies. Some pay more than others. According to Whitney, prices vary depending on what each influencer's specialty is, whether it be fitness, health, beauty, or parenting. The women are all popular mom influencers known for sharing updates on their lives via the Mom Talk side of TikTok and first going viral in 2022. Their posts seem to contradict conventional beliefs affiliated with the Mormon church and religion. Taylor, 29, even once alleged that the group was involved in a soft swinging practice outside of their respective marriages. None of the other Mormon wives ever confirmed Taylor's claims, with Whitney and Macy further revealing to E! How the scandal affected their incomes. Oh no, if anything, it just gave us more publicity, to be honest with you, Whitney quipped. I think if we were involved, specifically Macy and I, it would have been different. We weren't, so we just took the clout from it. The drama, however, did have some negative drawbacks. It's kind of a mix though, Macy said. I threw an event for my business launch that I did on the show, and I had a couple of vendors that almost pulled out because they're like, wait, are you in that swinging stuff? So I think reputation-wise, we took a little bit of a hit, but income-wise, I don't think it really affected us too much. The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives premieres Friday, September 6th on Hulu. Now, if you'll remember, the church came out with a statement detailing exactly how they feel about the show. They alluded that it employs stereotypes and gross misrepresentations that are in poor taste, and said, while this is not new, a number of recent productions depict lifestyles and practices blatantly inconsistent with the teachings of the church. And then they said, we invite all to consult reliable sources of information and listen to the voices and authentic experiences of individuals and families who find great joy and satisfaction in living these principles, suggesting that they don't think the women from the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives are reliable sources of information. So that brings us to another article from wwbl.com that says the mom of the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives star Taylor, Frankie Paul, is speaking out over the hypocritical backlash her family has received after the trailer for the upcoming Hulu reality series aired. In a TikTok video posted earlier this week, Leanne May spoke up about the criticism she's noticed online and explained why it's contradicting to the beliefs of the Mormon church. What really makes me irritated recently, I see all the backlash from them, the comments they receive on social media. I recently received one that I thought was very interesting and contradicting, she said in the video. They stated that we, my family and I, should distance ourselves from being with the church and being Mormon because we're not Mormon enough. That's pretty hypocritical, and stating other things like these don't align with the teachings, well, neither does that. For someone to come to say that I shouldn't be a member of the church because I'm not Mormon enough or I sin, let me tell you, a lot of things happen in the church and a lot of sins are committed every single day. Nobody is perfect, she added. And I agree with her. If the women in the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives still want to identify with the Mormon church, attend church, and pick and choose which teachings they want to follow, I think they should have every right to do that without the church coming out and saying, in essence, that they aren't Mormon enough. And now to a post from the Latter-day Saints Women's Support and Gospel Discussion Group on Facebook. The original post said, so I'm still very shocked. I haven't gone to temple for a while. Just yesterday I went to the temple. I asked one of the workers who was standing outside of the waiting room for the translation device. First, she wouldn't let me come in until the person brought it to me, but that was okay. Even though I was waiting there for a while, later she finally let me come in. I sat down. Then she walked up to me and said, I don't think you are wearing garments. I was really shocked to hear that question. I told her, yes, I am. But she still stood there, so it ended up that I had to pull part of my garment out to show her. I'm feeling very upset about that. More background, that temple is in the countryside. I was the only foreigner. Anyway, does this normally happen in the temple and the church in general? The first response was, First of all, I would 100% make a report of that to the person in charge of the temple workers. Second, nobody should be asking someone else about their underwear. Garments are underwear. That is one thing that needs to be brought to attention in the church. We talk about how sacred garments are, and yet people have less hesitation asking about it than they would to someone wearing a thong. It's not normal. It's not okay. You need to let someone know what happened. To which the next person responded, "Except the bishop and stake president, right? It's okay for them to ask about underwear." To which the woman responded, "I've never had a bishop ask or stake president ask about my underwear." Then came the response, "They have to in temple recommend interviews." To which the other woman answered, "No, they don't. They have to ask if you are keeping your temple covenants." And then the responding woman referred to the church's general handbook by saying this, "From the temple recommend interview questions in the handbook number 14. Do you honor your sacred privilege to wear the garment as instructed in the initiatory ordinances? Read the wearing the temple garment statement included below to each member. Wearing the temple garment. The first presidency has provided the following guidance on wearing the garment. The garment of the holy priesthood reminds us of the veil in the temple, and that veil is symbolic of Jesus Christ. When you put on your garment, you put on a sacred symbol of Jesus Christ. Wearing it is an outward expression of your inner commitment to follow him. The garment is also a reminder of your temple covenants. You should wear the garment day and night throughout your life. When it must be removed for activities that cannot reasonably done while wearing the garment, seek to restore it as soon as possible. As you keep your covenants, including the sacred privilege to wear the garment as instructed in the initiatory ordinances, you will have greater access to the Savior's mercy, protection, strength, and power." So this, my dear ladies from this support group, is why people in the Mormon church think it's okay to ask about other people's underwear, because they sit behind closed doors with random untrained men and allow them to ask them about their underwear. Now we will go to abc4.com. According to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, a fourth volume of the church's narrative history is set to be released this fall. Lester Rojas of the Church Communication Department confirmed Volume 4 will be released October 29th. Rojas said the October 29 date is all the church can confirm at the current time, but there is more information to come. It will be titled Sounded in Every Ear, covering the years 1955 through 2020. The volumized collection documents the events starting in 1815, which details the journey church founder Joseph Smith's family took to upstate New York and why they ended up in the village of Palmyra. The first volume also talks about the Second Great Awakening, which sprung from the Restoration movement. Volume 2 details the move westward, and the third speaks of the expansion of the church. The fourth volume will follow the globalization of the church since 1955. The previous versions are available on the church website along with additional historical topics. And now to the church news. 10 years ago, Elder David A. Bednar of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles invited members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to fill the earth with goodness by using social media to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, when he said, "What has been accomplished thus far in this dispensation communicating gospel messages through social media channels is a good beginning, but only a small trickle. I now extend to you the invitation to help transform the trickle into a flood. Beginning at this place on this day, I exhort you to sweep the earth with messages filled with righteousness and truth, messages that are authentic, edifying, and praiseworthy, and literally to sweep the earth as with a flood." To help Latter-day Saints use social media to convey gospel messages, Elder Bednar offered several basic guidelines. 1. Be authentic and consistent. A person or product that is not authentic is false, fake, and fraudulent, he said. This is not to be confused with the passage from Quentin L. Cook in 2017 General Conference where he said, "In today's world, there is an increased emphasis on pride, self-aggrandizement, and so-called authenticity." So if you're going to be authentic, make sure that you are being the church's approved version of authenticity. The second thing Elder Bednar said was edify and uplift. We and our messages should seek to edify and uplift rather than argue, debate, condemn, or belittle, Elder Bednar said. Let's not forget, though, that Dallin H. Oakes, who outranks Bednar, said in the April 2015 General Conference, quoting Hugh Nibley, "That's been the whole story of the church, hasn't it? You have to be willing to offend here. You have to be willing to take the risk. That's where the faith comes in. Our commitment is supposed to be a test. It's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be impractical in the terms of this world." The third thing Elder Bednar said was to respect intellectual property. But let's not forget that the church is happy to modify art so it fits the church's modesty standards, which doesn't seem very respectful. In December 2022, from a Salt Lake Tribune article, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints encouraged members to download a painting of Mary and the baby Jesus for Christmas, but it was an edited version, altered to remove a hint of Mary's cleavage. On its website, the church shared 18 nativity images for members to retrieve and share. One of those pictures is a painting by Italian artist Carlo Maratta from the 1650s of the Virgin Mary and the Christ child, except that someone modified the painting before sharing it on the website. In the original Maratta painting, titled The Holy Night or the Nativity, small angels peek past Mary to gaze at the baby. In the church's version, the angels have been removed. In Maratta's original, Mary shows a hint of cleavage as she gazes adoringly at her newborn. In the Latter-day Saint version, someone has not only given Mary a higher neckline, but also moved a shawl a bit higher on her left shoulder, giving her added modesty after more than 3.5 centuries. The fourth thing that Elder Bednar said was be wise and vigilant. We should remember that the internet never forgets, Elder Bednar cautioned. Anything you communicate through a social media channel indeed will live forever, even if the app or program may promise otherwise. Only say it or post it if you want the entire world to have access to your message or picture for all time. And I agree with Elder Bednar on that one. I am personally grateful that the internet does not forget some of the things that the church has said in the past and recently. It's forced the church into more transparency about the messiest parts of its past, and I am truly grateful for that. The Church News article goes on to say, following Elder Bednar's address in 2014, the church launched an initiative and webpage to help members get started with his invitation to flood the earth with goodness using the hashtag #ShareGoodness. The webpage featured videos illustrating creative ways members could share positive and genuine messages. A Church News article in 2016 reported that a quick search of hashtag #ShareGoodness on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and other social media sites produced thousands of results. Posts included quotes from general conference talks, scripture references, pictures of temples, and personal experiences. I was still a very true believing member at that time, and you better believe if you looked up hashtag #ShareGoodness, you would find posts that I made. The article goes on to say the 10-year anniversary of Elder Bednar's address comes during the church's global initiative 99+1, honoring President Russell M. Nelson's upcoming 100th birthday. The article then talks about how in November 2020, amid the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic, President Nelson took to social media to ask the world to embrace and experience the healing power of gratitude, which has been shown to have positive impacts. President Nelson invited all to turn social media into a gratitude journal using hashtag #GiveThanks and to thank God through daily prayer. Church leaders, members, and others across the world immediately responded to the prophet's invitation. Within the first hour of the video release, it had been viewed more than 1 million times, according to a Church News report. On Twitter, within hours, hashtag #GiveThanks was trending in the United States at number 1, and by the end of the day, it was trending at number 2 worldwide. The video message President Nelson shared was not one that came by chance, he later wrote in a blog post on churchofjesuschrist.org. It is one that came from heaven. I wonder if that means it was a revelation directly from God, or that the hashtag trended because it was November, and November is a time when people tend to hashtag #GiveThanks anyways. The article then details how current leaders are using social media. Each member of the First Presidency and Quorum of the 12 Apostles has an active account on Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter. Members of the Relief Society Young Women, Primary Young Men, and Sunday School General Presidencies also have official social media accounts and post often. From San Diego, California, Relief Society General President Camille N. Johnson recently posted a video on the Relief Society Worldwide Instagram account. The caption stated, "Needs some ministering inspiration?" A local stake Relief Society president, Sister Pingree, shared her stake's rock project, in which sisters write a short message on a rock and drop it off to those they minister to. Okay. A complete list of the church's official social media accounts can be found on churchofjesuschrist.org. As a follow-up to his address given 10 years ago, Elder Bednar recently met with a few media representatives to discuss how Latter-day Saints can use social media to share the good news of the Savior's gospel. Elder Bednar shared a clip from the video interview on his social media channels, and the church posted a 10-minute segment on its YouTube channel. The full 48-minute interview can be found on the True Millennial YouTube channel. This got me super curious about what the hell is the True Millennial YouTube channel being mentioned in an article from the church news. So I went to the channel. It has almost 32,000 subscribers, and the About section gives absolutely zero information about who runs the channel. It seems to stem from an address that Russell Nelson gave in 2016 called Becoming True Millennials. In the address, he gives 4 ways to become a true millennial: learn who you really are, expect and prepare to accomplish the impossible, learn how to access the power of heaven, and 0% surprise here for me, follow the prophets. The True Millennial YouTube channel has videos with titles like Which Kingdom of Heaven Will I Inherit? Is the Second Coming Close? Why is it important to wear the temple garment? Women and the priesthood is not what you think, and so on. Is it just another YouTube channel circuitously run by the church? I think so. Anyhow, I'll have to take one for the team and watch some of the videos and give an update. Look for that in the future. Back to Elder Bednar's coverage on the church news. When asked what his invitation is now, 10 years later, Elder Bednar said, "Do not make this harder than it is. Do not complicate it. It is a remarkable learning process. It is not hard. Keep it simple. Do not be afraid to give it a go. Social media is not going away," he emphasized. "This is how the world communicates, and you need to learn how to do it for righteousness." And last up today, this sobering reminder. More than 70% of people with autoimmune disorders are women. Maybe it's because their bodies carry the stories of abuse and betrayal, and society says they can't even show their anger. And that's your update for today, folks. I absolutely hope you have the day that you deserve.